Here is somebody out shopping and, as luck will have it, she is looking for a new duvet. Intelligent and enlightened consumers give some thought to the matter before they make a purchase, just as this young lady is doing. She's thinking about the price, the right quality, and also about something completely different.
Recently, I've heard and seen such a lot which has made me uncertain what to do. Whatever happens, I don't want any birds to be hurt. Now I'm even wondering whether it would perhaps be better to manage without a feather duvet.
It's true. Time and again you hear about unacceptable and incorrect ways of collecting feathers, and one has to admit that there are a few bad apples. Fortunately, their number is diminishing. Furthermore, around 98% of down and feathers don't come from live birds at all, but are only obtained after the birds have been slaughtered, so they are really a byproduct of poultry meat production. Think about the delicious roast geese on festive occasions.
How can I be sure that I only buy bedding filled with feathers that have been properly sourced? After all, it is probably impossible to trace them back to where they come from.
But you can. There is now a documentation system which allows you to trace each stage of the journey, from the finished product right back to when the down and feathers were procured. EDFA has developed it.
EDFA?
EDFA is the European Down and Feather Association. It has over 90 member companies from 23 countries. The majority are from Europe, but there are also other countries, such as South Africa, Russia and Brazil.
So the association has so many members, and traceability is so important for all these companies. How does this system work?
It has 3 parts: the Code of Conduct, the Traceability Standard and the Audit Standard. Let's look at the Code of Conduct first. This is a voluntary undertaking given by EDFA members that they will not purchase any down and feathers collected in ways that are cruel to the birds. All the companies gave this undertaking at the members' assembly.
So is this Code of Conduct enough on its own?
It's not just what is in the code. The members also include a corresponding declaration on the procurement of feathers and down in their purchase contracts and general terms and conditions of business.
And how does traceability work?
This is also in the code. The members undertake to document the origins of the down and feathers so that they can be traced. This allows them to prove that they have not purchased any down or feathers which have not been collected in the proper way.
And the traceability standard sets out how that is documented, right?
Exactly. The traceability standard is a guideline relating to the documents that will allow the origin of the down and feather filling material to be traced. It is primarily based on the statutory European hygiene directives and applies to all down and feathers, regardless of where they come from.
And this will allow you to track the product back to source, from the purchase of the feathers through transport and processing until it reaches the retailer?
Yes, every step is documented and can be traced.
That sounds good, but how can I be sure that this documentation is complete and correct?
This is where the third part of the documentation system is important: the audit standard. This specifies how compliance with the traceability standard is verified.
Verified? Only someone who's strictly neutral can provide reliable verification you can trust.
Exactly so. Neutral third parties, for example inspection and monitoring organisations, are given the task of verifying everything. That is the audit. They turn up at the companies and carefully go through all the business documents.
And the companies give them all the documents they need to do this?
That's what they have to do because they are bound by the Code of Conduct.
Now, all that I still need to know is, how can I identify a duvet produced by a manufacturer who has signed the Code of Conduct and who works in accordance with the criteria set out in the traceability standard?
You just have to look at the label. For example, you can choose Down a Fresh or Down a Fresh Green Line with a clear conscience.
That is exactly what is important to me. I don't just want to buy a cozy duvet, I also want to enjoy it and have a clear conscience. As you know, a clear conscience gives you a good night's sleep.